Hey, what's good, family? My name is Landis Ray Morgan, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Rotunda Morgan.
And you are tuned into another episode of
Living More with the Morgans.
And you guys, like I say every week, we got a bomb show for you guys, and we take out the time to kind of really come up with some cool topics, some different kind of topics that you ain't hearing on nobody else's podcast. And this week ain't no different. And so, you guys, we're gonna jump into it. But before we do, as always, we want to invite you guys into the family. You're part of the Morgan family right now. And so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down here at the bottom, because we want you to lock in with us every week, every time that we go live or we post a new video here on our YouTube channel. You got to lock in. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell icon for notifications every time that we post something brand new on our YouTube channel. And you can also follow us on all of our social media accounts. We're on Facebook, we're on IG, we're on TikTok, Twitter. We even on Pinterest. I always got to say it, you guys, we on Pinterest. I mean, who's on Pinterest? We are. And so you guys hit us up on social media. You can hit up our DMs. We do answer questions. If you need any help with anything, if you just want to chop it up with us, you can always do that. And of course, wherever you're listening to us, you can also listen to our podcast, Living More with the Morgans. We're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Pandora, we're on Apple Podcasts. We're all over the place, you guys. And so you ain't got no excuses. And if you can't find us there, which you should be able to, if you're tech savvy, you can always go to our website. We're at www.livingmorewiththemorgans.com. And so you guys, you ain't got no excuse but to follow Living More with the Morgans. And again, like I said, baby, we got a great show for the people today. And you know what? It's about 5 days after my birthday.
It is.
I'm 45. I think I feel like I've crossed over to a new threshold of sorts, you know. And it's even in some churches, it's like the young adult ministry stops at 45, right? Yeah. So you practically full grown, at 45. And so I think now I'm considered full grown. I'm not a young adult anymore. I still feel young. I still feel good. I still think I look kind of, young and spry and spunky. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
Okay, thank you, babe. And so today's show to you guys, I think we got a great one, because I know we got a great one, because we're going to talk about love, marriage, sex, intimacy, all of that after 40. After 40. Now, if you're younger than 40, this show is still for you, because I think we're going to have some wisdom for the young people, the young couples, those that are looking to get married, those that are dating, courting, doing all they, they're doing their thing right now. I think we're going to have some wisdom for you guys, but also I think we're going to have some wisdom for those that are over 40 plus. And I'm not just talking, midlife crisis type thing. This ain't about midlife crisis. This is about clarifying some things. This is about getting a different perspective, a better perspective of where life is and where love is after 40. What are your thoughts on that, honey?
I agree. Sometimes people think that after a certain age you stop living, but and you settle in, and the midlife crisis and all of that has those labels that has been put or placed upon us, and or we go and subscribe to. It's not true. It's really in the mind. It's what you think, how you feel. Is how you think of yourself. That's how you feel. If you feel old, you're thinking it. It's in your mind.
It's already in your mind.
It's already in your mind. So we want to talk about after 40, that life begins. And life is beautiful and it's wonderful, but it's how you look at it. And so I think we have something that can probably, change some people's minds.
I think so too, because and you said something that's people get 40 or turn 40, whatever, or get over 40, and they start settling.
Yes.
Right. And they start just like trying to coast through life, and this is what life is going to be, or whatever. And I think a lot of us get there. I know I got there when I crossed over 40, because you start to, society would kind of tell you that your best years are over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you settled in, if you got kids or whatever, you got grandkids, on the way or whatever.
Right.
And so you start kind of just like, I don't know. I guess kind of preparing just to coast and just whatever will be is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that we especially in our society here in the West, is like we look at what society tells us, what media tells us, and everything that you see really is really geared towards people that are younger, right? All the commercials are showing folks, all the young people at the beach and at the movies, or enjoying life, or taking the cruises. And when you look at some of the commercials, you see all the older folks, they marketing all the pharmaceuticals to us, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all the Depends undergarments and stuff, right? And so I think sometimes when we look at what's going on in society and what our media kind of feeds us, we build these behaviors and these mindsets towards like, okay, well, we just existing.
We're just they even do that in the NBA. You remember we were talking about how they keep talking about saying, yeah, LeBron, he this old, he this old. Oh yeah, he getting ready to hit 37. I said, wait a minute, and not LeBron, but that age. Yeah. And I'm like, he's still young.
They're already pronouncing you like you finna kick the bucket at 37.
Are you ready for the nursing home or the assisted living?
Right.
And I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
And I think because our society here is so bent on that, but there's a reason, right? And I believe, honey, there's a spiritual reason to that, because I think when you get older, you should have the wisdom accumulated from the life that you've lived. The failures that you've gone through, the mistakes that you've made. And so what better way to not pass down that wisdom by putting out images and putting out messages out there that make you think that you're insignificant.
Right. That's so right.
You see what I'm saying? That's the best way to make you think that you don't matter no more, or that your age group doesn't matter.
Right.
And so you've got a lot of people now is that when they hit that they even call it a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
What kind of demonic crap is that? Is that, okay, once you get this age, it has to be deemed a crisis. You know what I'm saying? That's some crap.
It's a blessing to get that age.
And it's like even if you look at the Bible days, honey, back in the day, if you got older, that was a blessing that you got. If your hair got white, it was wisdom and everything. Now we trying to color it in and put with pencils, and you get wrinkles now, and it's like the first wrinkle you see, you're trying to cover it up and with Botox or whatever. You pumping stuff in your face or whatever, and it's like unfortunately society has painted getting old as some kind of
It's as if you're done.
Like you're done.
Out of there.
Yeah.
And you notice now, as it has always really kind of been, like my grandmother, she lived to be 109 years old. My grandparents were in their late 90s. They almost crossed the threshold of 100. People now, you remember some of our social media stars, quote unquote, the older generation are in their hundreds. I remember this young lady, I would say, I can't remember her name, but she just passed and she turned 98. Then there was another lady that was 107. So people are living longer. You understand? And as we are living longer, you see that this generation of older people are spunkier. They're getting out there. They're getting on social media. There's one woman in particular I follow that's in Missouri. She has her own social media. She has her own TikTok. She shows her food. She encourages people, and just say, hey, how are you guys doing today? I'm cooking, enjoy the day. God is good. These older people are getting out there and living, and this is what we want them to do, and what we want us to do. I'm 57 years old. No, I might not look like it, we thank God, but at the same time, I'm not, looking to go and get Botox and all that stuff. Yeah, I might put a little color in my hair, which I haven't for a long time, but yet and still, I work out. I take care of myself. I don't limit myself because I'm a certain age. I don't even feel 57 if that's supposed to feel like anything. Well, at any age, you're going to have some aches and pains, but I feel good, and it's what I speak to myself. It's what you say to yourself, and it's what you believe, and that would be the outcome of how your life is. It goes. If you believe that you're young at heart. You act like
and
it.
I think you have to believe, absolutely. I think you have to believe that you still have something left.
You have something left to give, to offer.
Bingo.
To receive.
Right.
To
receive.
Right.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes you get up there, or and I've heard older people talk and say and speak as if they have nothing else to give to this generation.
Or
this generation, they're not going to listen to this, and they're not going to. And later on in the show, we're going to really dive into that, and about wisdom and everything, and we're going to dive into some real topics about intimacy, sex.
Right.
We're going to really dive into what life has for you, and all these phrases and all this vernacular that we have around getting older. It's like now, if you want to go and enjoy life and get some adventure in, if you want to travel, they call it a bucket list.
I can't.
So before you kick the bucket,
right.
So before you get a certain age and you quote unquote kick the bucket, what is kick? And see, we laugh at that and we joke about that,
right?
But it's built in our psyche.
There you go.
You dig what I'm saying? It's built into our mentalities that I've got to do this and this and this.
You start to operate,
and you function,
right? You start functioning,
absolutely, right? And so now, instead of just traveling to live life,
right,
as a life list that you're checking it off, no, you're calling it a bucket list before you check up out of here, before you kick the bucket and die.
And life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Facts.
So we have to speak life. You don't take on what the world says about you and where you are and the stage that you are in your life. You don't do that, because we know many people in the Bible that live to be in their 700s, 800 years old, but they were just as strong in those ages as they were when they were younger. So God wants us to have life,
right,
and life more abundantly. But we have to speak that. We don't do bucket lists. We do life lists.
Right.
We live in life. Well, this is it on this side.
Right.
And we want to live and not take on what the world, society says, we should be at, and this is what we should be, how we should be thinking at this age.
And that's the big point, Beta, I think you brought up, is that we are adopting a mentality, a worldly mentality. And so we talk about, especially in the church world and in the religious world, as we talk about being separated from the world. But unfortunately, I think we adopt a lot of their mentality, a lot of the things that they say, a lot of the things that they do.
Yeah.
And so we have to understand that as a believer, you have your own identity.
Yes, you do.
You have your own source.
Yes.
You don't have the same source as someone who doesn't believe in the things that you believe. And so, and in the God that you believe.
Right.
And because of that, our thinking processes need to be different on what do I have left to give? But like you said, what do I have left? What is there left for me to be able to receive?
Right. And as believers, we should lead out in that.
Right.
In everything.
We should be showing. We should be the example.
That. Yes.
We should be the example, particularly in our relationships, in our marriages, because, and I think, and we're going to really get into this, you guys, because I think oftentimes society is being shaped by those who have the microphone and the camera phone in front of them, but they have no wisdom.
True.
And so now we're calling people influencers. And what are they influencing us with? Right? What kind of influence are they conveying to the people that they're watching? And so if they're conveying that, oh, you're too old, it's done, you got to be a millionaire before you hit 30, you got to have this and this and this in place before you hit 45 or whatever. It's just like you were talking about the NBA and how, LeBron being 40, actually, I think he turned 41.
Right. He's 41.
Steph Curry, I think is 37, 38.
He is.
But a lot of people will tell you, hey, man, You're too old to be playing this game. You're too old to be doing this.
Right.
This man has conditioned his body. These young men have conditioned their bodies and their minds to say, if my body can still do this, then I'm going to still do this. If I can still get out there on the court with these young cats, these young whippersnappers, and I can still put up 20, 30, 40 points, then I have something else that I have something more to still bring to the game.
Absolutely. I remember a time, and I think I've talked about this before, I spoke of it. I remember a time I went home when mom and dad was still at home, and my daddy was 90 at the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember pulling up into the driveway, and dad was on top of the roof. My dad was 90 years old.
Wow.
He was on top of the roof doing some repairs or whatever he needed to do. And, you know, me and my best friend, and she pulled up at the same time I did because she knew I was coming home. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we joked, and she would say to my dad, "Dad, what you doing up there on that roof? You know, get down from there." Mm-hmm. Mom was a little bit concerned about it, but at the same time, we knew he was okay. Daddy was strong. Mm-hmm. And so I watched that and I looked at that and I'm like, yeah. Right. I mean, he was like, I got a job to do. Right. Who here to do it? Right. I have to get it done. He got on the ladder. He went up on the roof. Mm-hmm. He did what he had to do. So it's all in the mind. It's in the mind. Right. You know, you have to be careful at any age, but it's all in the mind. And you're not old at 37. You're not old at 47. You're not old at 57. You're not old at 60, 67. You're not. It is what you say to yourself and how you treat your body and your mind. And if you treat your body well, your body will treat you well.
That's a great point. And I love that you went to the physical, because one thing that you said earlier is that people are living longer.
They're living longer.
Right? They're living longer. And it's due to I think it's due to many reasons. If you look at logical and practical reasons, it is because in our society now, health and well-being is at the forefront. Those are billion-dollar industries for a reason.
Right, absolutely.
And so you've got technology, you've got food, you've got supplements, you've got different things that are out there now, even with fitness, that people are implementing into their lives early enough to where now they're pushing their bodies to where they can live longer. Right. Even in some of our, older baby boomers, you got World War II, that generation, the golden generation. I mean, they're still kicking. Living to 110, 105. We've got at our church at the Potter's House, you got Mother Nix.
Yeah, and Mother Bradley.
And Mother Bradley. I mean, they're in the hundreds, and they're walking. And they're getting it, y'all. They're doing it, and so it's possible. So I think the what's stopping a lot of people, babe, I see people really kind of quitting now. If you look at these articles and stuff on social media, and you look at what people are posting, people are quitting in their 30s. Like they're quitting life because they went through a couple of strings of failure. Right. Or they made some mistakes and they think they can't bounce back from those things.
Or someone left their life.
Or somebody passed or whatever.
Somebody passed. Or they got out of a relationship that they didn't think that they could make it through.
Right. Or they maybe they've gone through a divorce early. Right. And so people now are starting to quit on life early on.
Yeah.
And that's scary. And so hopefully there's something that we say, you guys, in this podcast that sparks the flame in life. Again, like I said, we're going to jump in on the intimacy, the sex and the stuff between married couples and people in covenant. Right. But I really want us to hone in on the mentality of getting older, because we're told a lot of lies, and we're told that we're insignificant. We're told that your life is no longer meaningful after this. Absolutely. Stage of life or whatever. Right. And that's just not true.
Babe, if you, I'm a personal trainer and fitness and all of that. There's, let me see, threads. Mm-hmm. They always want you to, sometimes you'll see out there, it says, put a picture of, the 50 and older, put your picture out there. you should see some of these guys. They muscled up.
Mm-hmm.
They're in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
Women,
Mm-hmm.
Black women,
Mm-hmm.
with Caucasian women,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
These women and these men are looking fantastic.
Right.
They're taking care of their bodies. They're taking care of their minds. They're taking care of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they are not allowing society
Mm-hmm.
or what has been told to them that they should be doing. They're not allowing that. They're saying, no, this is my life. I'm going to live this life until the wheels fall off.
And I think it's funny because I remember hearing through prayer that this year would be a year of both awesome and awful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing about what you just said is that people are wanting to live longer. They're wanting to be healthier. I even saw something where alcohol sales have decreased significantly, over the past couple of years because people are starting to see the long-term effects of alcoholism, right? Every time you look up, you see a beloved celebrity or musician or artist or actor or whatever, someone that you really admired, and they checking out of here, in their 60s and 70s, and you're saying, okay, what's going on with that? But if you look through their history, a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them, but if you look in their history, there's some drug abuse there.
Yes.
There's some alcoholism there. Yes. There's some things that they did earlier in life that wasn't the best for their own bodies.
Right.
And so I think people are starting to wake up now and say, well, yo, I don't want that. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I think that has to be a God thing where people say, no, I want to live more life. Yes. That's one of the models for our show.
Yeah,
is more life, more love, and more to explore.
Right.
So if people are saying, I want more life, and they're willing to spend money, they're willing to do what it takes to do that. They're willing to get in the gym. They're willing to eat better.
Well, right.
And watch what they're eating, and watch what they're putting in their bodies.
Right.
I think that is a clear sign that people want something more out of life. Right. Now, what we have to be careful of, babe, is that what people are wanting out of life, it's cool that you want more from life. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
But you also, as you get older, you have a responsibility of what you are giving back in life.
Right. Right.
And so just to hoard it all for yourself and just to be about yourself is not, you're not living a life of servitude.
Right.
And so you won't bequeath anything to people because you were fixated on, let me get what I want to get. Let me have what I want to have. Let me live my life. And that's dangerous too.
Right.
And so the enemy can be in your ear and saying, yeah, I got to get fine. I'm 50 and fine. I'm 60 and fine. And that's cool. But your heart is ugly.
Right. Right. It has to be a total package.
Right. You've got some things internally that's ugly. And that's not, rocking with you as you get older. Yeah, and so in this podcast today, you guys, we really want to hone in on, as we're getting older, changing our perspective on all things, on the total package.
Yes.
Not just getting fine, not just getting fit. That's cool. Not just going out here and living life and traveling, doing all. That's cool too. But what is it that as you age, you have a responsibility to give back.
To give back.
To leave something behind, to pass the baton.
Right. Absolutely.
And if you're not gearing up to do that, then I think you're missing the point to why you're getting more age, why you're getting more time, more years. Right. I think about in the Bible where, there was King Hezekiah and the prophet had come to him and was like, yo, bro,
it's time for you to check up out of here.
You finna shoot smooth deuce up out this mug.
Right.
And, get your house in order because you out of here. You out of there.
Right.
And he turned his back to the wall and cried out and said, now, Lord, I done lived right. I done this. I've done this and this and this. I need more time.
Yes.
And he repented and he cried out to God. And God had to tell the prophet to go back. Hezekiah has come to me. I've heard his cry. I've heard his plea. Mm-hmm. And he has 15 more years coming to him. Yeah. Now, here's the thing about getting that 15 years. And you already know where I'm going. Hezekiah got the 15 years lengthened in his life.
Right.
But Hezekiah's heart didn't get better.
It didn't get better. That was the whole purpose.
You dig what I'm saying? He got the longevity. He stayed fine and stayed fit and all that.
Right.
But his heart got worse.
Right.
Where he became more selfish.
Right.
In the 15 years that he got. Read it. You guys, if you ever get a chance, read that in scripture. It's so funny to me because I'm like, bro, you were just crying out to God for more time. I need more time. But then he gets the more time. God hears him. And I'm like, well, God, you didn't know he was going to do this? Of course he did.
Of course he did.
But it's a lesson to us.
But he could have gave him more than 15.
And he could have gave him more than 15.
He knew this because God knows us.
Right.
And so he was like, I'm only going to get this bro
15 years. Right.
Because I know that he's not going to change
what
I want him to change.
Right.
Which is this. Heart.
That heart.
Right.
And that was the big thing, was like, God was like, I want that heart changed. Now, he still gave him some time.
Right.
You know, play with the grandkids, do all that great stuff, travel, whatever he did in those 15 years.
Right.
But that heart got ugly. And so we got to make sure that as God has given us more time and we in the gym and we working it out, we pumping it, we getting fine and we getting fly and all this different stuff, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
But we got to make sure that we're also giving
some
back.
Balance.
Yeah. We're giving back some of the things that we're getting as well. You know.
Most definitely.
What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I can't be this age. When our daughter, sometimes I'll call her and she'll, and she said, "Hey, mommy." I was like, "You doing good?" I said, "I need to talk to you. Is this a teachable moment?" Yes, it is. Right. Because I want to give her the wisdom that I, received, or things that I did that I can kind of steer her from not doing, so that her life would be a little better than some things that I've done. So I'm always, I received a text again today from one of the young ladies that, I'm a volleyball coach too. And she's already asked me this like 2 months ago. "Hey, coach, are you going to coach this year?" You know? And I'm like, "Yes." She said, "Me and another young lady, we already signed up." So they were waiting for me because I didn't only coach. You understand? I was there to be, they said to me, "You're a mentor to us." You give back, you pour into what you've learned, you've learned throughout your life, so that someone else can have an opportunity to live a life that is, that you didn't do. The wrong things that you did, they didn't have to do.
Right.
So I'm always about doing that with young people. I'm always wanting to give back. I'm always wanting to pour in. We've done that. We've gone around the world, and I still do that. Even if there's a language barrier, I'm still showing them that you matter.
Right.
You're seen, you're heard. This is our responsibility as we get older, because the generation coming behind us, I don't care what the times that we live in. I don't care if this is the 2000s or what have you. I don't care what time it is. They're going to go through the same thing. Everything comes back around. You seeing them wearing afros now. You seeing them doing the things when I was growing up. I mean, everything comes back around. But what does not get old is being an elder, being a mentor, being encouraging, uplifting. I don't care what age group it is, especially now.
And I think if you're going to see, a mentor is there so that the mentee doesn't make the same mistakes on the journey that was similar to yours.
That's perfect.
Right?
I couldn't have said it any better.
The problem with that, or the problem that a lot of people are running into, is that if you're not visible, if you're not hands-on, if you're not approachable, if you're not relatable, then there's going to be a disconnect.
There's going to be
and so there's going to be a kink in the line to where there could have been a flow to another generation that needs what it is that you have. But somewhere that line has been broken. Why? Because that disconnect comes through not being relatable, not feeling insignificant. And when you feel
That's
insignificant and you think that you don't have something to offer to those that are coming behind you, you're putting that kink in the line. You're tying a knot in the line.
Right.
So the flow is not go. What if Moses would have stopped that flow from going through that line with Joshua and Caleb?
Right.
And we're going to talk more about them here in a little bit on the next segment. But I want to urge people, because you said it so beautifully. When you talk about mentoring and you talk about being something for these young ladies that that you were coaching in volleyball, you pouring into them will help them make better decisions. It may be 10 years from now, it may be 5 years from now, it may be 20 years from now, but it'll be something that you said that'll resonate. Why? Because you've lived where they're going.
Right.
You've done what they're going to do.
Right. Absolutely.
And so they're going to remember that wisdom. But if you're the person who says, I have nothing to give, my playing days of volleyball are over, I did that in my teenage years, I did that in my 20s, I don't have nothing to give back, I can't play anymore. So no, you can do, and you figured, I can still do something with the game that I love.
Right.
I may not be able to play it like I did 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
But I can still coach, I can still get involved, I can still train up these young ladies in something that it is that I love and that I'm passionate about.
Right.
And so we got to remember to do that, fam, because as we get older, you got to remember that you're going to have a baton to pass.
Right.
And if you're inaccessible, if you're ornery, if nobody can approach you, if you're not going to let your light shine, then you're going to die with this baton in your hand, and then you got some repercussions and some consequences coming.
Right, absolutely.
So you guys don't go nowhere. We're going to dig more into this topic right after these messages. Oh, and as we go into this commercial break, we want to let you guys know that my wife and I, we are the co-owners and co-founders of Infusion Design Solutions. Now, what is Infusion Design Solutions, you may be asking? That is a digital marketing, graphic design, and web development company based right here in Dallas, Texas. And we've been in business for over 17 years, you guys, and I believe we do excellent work. And we've been doing great work for not just people here locally, but from around the world, literally from around the world. And so check out this commercial from Infusion Design Solutions, and we'll be right back with more Living More with the Morgans.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Today, people and business owners have a ton of options to choose from. When it comes to web developers, graphic designers, social media marketing, branding, and the list goes on. And that might not be such a good thing. What if there was one company that you and your business could trust that could provide all these services at prices that won't eat up your business capital before it gets off the ground? From logo design, branding, custom website development, hosting, social media marketing, print media design, and more. Infusion does it all under one roof with a team of professionals that are just a phone call away. Infusion Design Solutions, the infusion of exceptional design and affordability. Visit us online at infusion.com.
All right, you guys, and we're back with more Living More with the Morgans. And as always, like we said in the commercial break, you can visit us on our website at www.infusion.com for more information. You can always give us a call at 214-494-0824. And then also you can email us at info@infusion.com for more information. We'd love to assist you with any of your small business and corporate needs right here at infusion.com. You can check us out. And so we've been having a good conversation, you guys, and thank you for joining us. I think, and we've been talking about really how age ain't nothing but a number. I can say it. I can say it like that. And we've been really brainwashed in our society, babe, to think that as we get older, we become insignificant, we become irrelevant, and we're fed these lies that are intentional,
right?
So that it diminishes your light, it diminishes what it is that you bring to the world.
Yeah, that's true.
And
right.
we're made to believe that only the young people have something to bring to the world, that only young people have something that is of value. And that could be further from the truth.
Absolutely.
And so I really want us to jump in on our marriages, because our marriages now at every age are really taking a hit. And the hit that they are taking, I believe, honey, is that we don't have true lasting examples of what marriage looks like. Right?
Right.
We have an idea. We have people with podcasts. We have people with we have sound bites and sound clips. We have celebrities that get together, and that's relationship goals, that's couples goals,
right.
and hashtag marriage goals or whatever, and that's all cool. But we don't have examples, a lot of examples that are showing that there's more than just the wedding day.
Absolutely,
there's more than just okay. She bad, she fine. He's good looking, he's cut up.
Yeah,
we walked down the aisle. The ring, the rock on the hand was humongous, and we had 500 people at our wedding, and and all this different. And we had celebrities and singers and all this different stuff. That's great, nothing against it, but where are the examples that are showing us that when hell hits,
right?
You dig?
Right.
When hell comes knocking and says, okay, I want to attack this, and this.
Right.
Then what happened to the covenant? What happened to the vows? What happened to all the things that you sat across from one another, or you stood across from one another at the altar and said, we're going to do this for better or for worse? Right? And so I think we really need seasoned couples, seasoned marriages to really be at the forefront right now.
Right.
We need them to be the professors right now, the instructors.
Right.
Because you got a lot of students here that are now trying to teach. You got a lot of students now that are calling themselves life coaches and marriage coaches and all these different things. And you've been married 3 years.
Right.
And we've seen that even in the church world, where you had a couple that was married 4 or 5 years, and they a celebrity couple, and after 4 or 5 years they were done, and they was doing marriage conferences together. They was writing a marriage book and all this different stuff. But as we saw with them, and this is not to throw any shade at them, but as we saw with them, there was no longevity and there was no substance.
Right.
So writing a bunch of books about marriage, doing a bunch of churchy conferences about marriage, and going to a couple of marriage retreats is not. It's not showing stability. It's not showing strength, and it's not showing the example that people need.
Right.
What people are going to need is something that they see that has been tested.
Absolutely.
And the only way you can convey that something has been tested, it's by being transparent and vulnerable enough to share about it.
Absolutely. I was watching Bishop's podcast, and he was interviewing Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about that same thing about, marriage and stuff. And Cam said that when he was, growing up, he grew up in the church and all that, and he saw all these, these couples that were together, brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so, or a mother this and brother that, they were married. And next thing you look up, sister so-and-so coming to church and brother so-and-so no longer coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look up, brother so-and-so is not brother so-and-so, it's another so-and-so,
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, marriage goes through the ups and the downs and the ebbs and the flows. You're coming together. Now we're talking about covenant. I'm not talking about just a regular marriage. She fine, she look good. She gonna look good in a apron and some skin, little drawers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good with that. I'm talking about covenant marriages.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go through some things because you're coming together. God is trying to make you one.
Mm-hmm.
You got two people who come from two different types of backgrounds, maybe two different, like you and I. I'm from the country, grew up on a farm, cattle. You're from the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I grew up as a, you know, loving sports and fitness and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You are a musician, a producer,
Mm-hmm.
went to the School of Performing Arts,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all of that. You know, and so me and now my brother, he's doing well, of course, but it takes time
Mm-hmm.
to bring two entities together like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be willing, you have to pick and choose, like Bishop said. You have to make sure that the partner that as a man that you choose is a partner that you're able to grow with in different stages of life.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be things that's going to happen. Someone might get sick. Someone might have parents that pass. You might go through family issues. You don't know, losing employment,
Mm-hmm.
all types of things.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to know that you have someone there with you or there for you that's saying, we're going to do this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go and find someone and think that, oh, okay, well, she's fine, or he's you know, he one of those roughnecks, and then I'm gonna turn him into a husband.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't.
And
You understand what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think that when you're younger, you think you have the time and you think you can make that kind of mistakes or those kinds of mistakes
Right.
when you're young.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, but you shouldn't want to.
You shouldn't want to.
Especially
and some of them will follow you.
Right. Especially when it comes to a covenant commitment type decision that you're making. Like you said, you're meshing together two people
Right.
into one that have different backgrounds, may have different goals, may have different dreams,
Right.
different upbringing, different ways that they handle money, different ways that they look at life, all these different things that are different. Now, God can bring it together, and we've seen that he can. I think the problem is that we're not treating marriage with a sense of long-lasting responsibility.
Right.
You're talking about bringing kids into this thing,
Right.
your
Absolutely.
grandkid, whatever. You're going to create lineage from
Right.
this. You're creating a family tree from this,
That's
which God
that's
takes very seriously.
Absolutely.
And so I think when you're young and you don't have that respect for marriage, that's the word I'm looking for.
That's a great.
When you don't have the respect for matrimony,
Yeah.
right? And you think it's just something to do, or yeah, babe, let's go ahead and get married, because I've been hitting it all this time, so I might as well just put a ring on it and we good. No, if you don't have the respect for covenant,
right?
And so I think when you get older, your mind starts evolving. And you start getting wiser to think, okay, I better make some life decisions, because if you fine now, but what is it going to be like when I may be at a place where I'm not mobile, or something happens, tragic happens, and I need you to take care of me, or I need to take care of you.
Right.
We've seen examples of that.
Yes.
And so with that, I think we have to we have to treat the covenant as something that's precious, but something that we respect. And with that, for those of us that are married and that are over 40 and that have been married, for a good length of time, I think it's a responsibility that we have to show those that are wanting to get married, or those that have just gotten married, or in the early years or early stages of their marriage, to be transparent with them and to let them know this is no cakewalk.
No, it's not.
Right now, enjoy your first, years and have fun, and explore each other. I mean, be butt nasty and kinky and do all that good stuff.
Right.
I think you should do that.
Right.
But at the same time, just know that if it's covenant, you're going to go through those challenges. You're going to go through different like you said, ebbs and flows.
Yes.
Those seasons are going to come.
They are going to come.
And when those seasons do come, the sex is it lessens. It's not as frequent.
Yes.
And so if we can be raw here, babe, on this segment.
Yeah.
When you start out, when it's early in the marriage, y'all like rabbits.
Right.
I mean, you straight energize a button, you getting it in.
Right.
She
Right.
she throwing it on you.
Right.
You laying the logs, right?
Right. Right.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Physical changes happen.
Yes.
Premenopause, menopause.
Yes. Yes.
Job losses.
Yes.
Situations with children, loss of loved ones in the family. All these different things will change the intimacy. Financial issues, right? And so I think sometimes we go into these thinking that she always gonna be bad and fine. She always gonna throw that thing. He always gonna be putting it on me. He always gonna be this and this and that. It's all, and we're googly eyed, and that's the thing. And if you're building it on that, you're going to be sadly mistaken. And I think it's up to those of us who are older. It's up to us to pass that wisdom to you. Say, beware. It's like you walk through a neighborhood and you see this sign on a fence that says, beware of dog.
Right.
Then I know that there's something behind this fence that's coming that could potentially hurt me.
Right. That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all we're doing, you guys, is putting up that sign saying, beware, because this is coming. Right. It's not that it might come. It is going to come.
Right.
And it may not be the same thing that we've gone through or this couple has gone through, but there is going to be something. There's going to be some challenges up the road that are going to make you stop and say, okay, what do we have here?
Right.
Do we have something that's real?
Right.
Or do we have something that's superficial?
Absolutely. And to the young people, and we're in a time now where some young people are talking about, no, we just want to live together. It's gotten to a point now that a lot of young people now don't want to get married. They're not looking for marriage. They're looking to live together. I know some older people my age, or we do, do you want to live together? Let's live together. I don't want to get married, and I want people to understand that if you're running from that, you're going to always be running from something.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Life is hard, but it's harder if you are alone.
Yeah.
It's just you.
Yeah.
But it's not as hard if you have that person that God has given you to help you and help you through those times where you go through it together.
I think even God, when God even said, in Genesis, where he was like, it is not good for man to be alone. Right?
Absolutely.
And so when you're talking about now in this generation where we just want to live together, okay, so you want the benefits but without the commitment.
Right.
Meaning that, okay, if this thing goes sour, you can go your way, I go my way. We had plenty of sex. We was kinky. We did this for one another. Blah blah blah. We traveled around the world. We drank. We smoked. We had fun. We did all this stuff. Okay, but now when life starts lifing, I can easily separate myself from you, and I can go find someone else that fulfills those things for me, and you can do the same thing. First of all, when you do that, you're playing with fire.
You are. And you hope that you don't bring children into
And you hope that you don't bring children.
Because I don't care. This society, let me say this, babe. Society is so big on, he's a great dad. That's not just all that an adult or a parent should just be. You have to be an example of showing that me and your mom are in a marriage covenant. You are getting a child on the weekends, or twice a week, and you're not in the same house with them at the same time. People think, well, it's better that they didn't stay together. They couldn't get along, but you were playing you were playing
that, plus your children are not seeing who they know as mom and dad as mom and dad.
Yeah, example of marriage covenant.
Right. They're not seeing that covenant.
Right.
So they're not seeing dad on a consistent basis because dad is cool with, I get you on the weekend, son or daughter.
Right.
Or mom gets the kids on a couple of days during the week or whatever. And so if you're content with that, you don't realize that you're possibly doing more damage to your kids
It's the truth.
than you think
It is
you are.
true. It is. That's
The
true.
reason why I can say that and you can say that is because we know as believers is that God created the family unit for a reason.
That's right.
He didn't create Adam, Eve, and Bonquisha, right?
Oh.
Where there's a side chick over here just in case Eve don't fulfill Adam. No, God created the family unit for a reason.
Right.
It specifically says husband and wife in the book of Genesis for a reason. It calls them husband and wife.
Right.
So God was already adamant and intentional about covenant from the beginning.
Right.
So when you bring in the children and they don't have the structure that God already ordained to be in place, then they're working at a deficit from the get-go.
And more than likely, they're going to repeat that same
and they're going
pattern.
to repeat that same pattern
Yes.
because it's been modeled to them.
It's been modeled. Of course.
You have a broken model that you've got held together with some scotch tape and a couple of pieces of super glue, and the model's broken. And when the model is broken, or when the home is broken, or the marriage is broken, you're going to have deficiencies and some brokenness in your children.
Right.
Whether you believe that or not, whether you
Right.
think that or not, you're going to. They might not ever say anything, but there's going to be some behavioral things. There's going to be some things that are going to happen later on in life. Why? Because they didn't see that family union. Now, along with that, we also got to touch on this. If kids are growing up in a home where they don't see the intimacy from a couple, y'all together. Right. Yeah, y'all married, y'all in the house together, but they don't see love. Right. They don't see the intimacy between mom and dad.
Right. Yeah, the kissing on the
they don't see the kiss
on the lips.
Yeah, it's like I've told you this before.
Right.
When we have children together, and I'm in my 80s, 90s, whatever, my grandkids are going to see, Grandpa, Papa, you nasty. You still touching on grandma booty and stuff. Yeah, I am. Sure am. How you think you got here? Well, Grandpa, y'all still be kissing and y'all still be touching on each other and stuff. Yep, sure do. I want them to see that. I want them to know that Grandpa still catching feelings for Grandma.
Right, and it's good.
And it's okay.
It's good.
And again, in our society, we've built this negative outlook on, oh, well, you're getting older, you don't need all that, especially religious folk, especially church folk.
Right.
Let's just keep it honest.
Right.
Church folk we boring, we don't do nothing. You can't go to Victoria's Secret and get nothing with no lace in it. You got to come to bed in some sweatpants or some long, thick drawers. Who wants that? You know what I'm saying? Who wants that? Because we're getting older, the panties got older. The undergarments look old. Why?
I'm gonna tell you, by the time you get in that bed, put that on, you done sweated quite a bit.
I'm just saying though. Why when we get older, why when people get older, you got to get boring.
Right.
There's no intimacy. There's no foreplay. There's no, bump that. I'm sorry. And we share that, you guys, and I'm being raw with it because somebody needs to be. Somebody needs to be.
Yeah.
We're not hearing this on Sunday morning. Our preachers ain't saying jack. Why? Because most of their marriages are jacked up. You see them as pastor and first lady, and they ain't touched each other in years. Their kids, the PKs, are broken. Why? Because they haven't seen mom and dad be mom and dad. No, they see him as apostle and first lady.
Right.
No, be mom and dad. Be the couple that you're supposed to be.
Right.
Be the covenant partnership that you're supposed to be.
Right. Absolutely.
And then with that, you bring in the fun and the intimacy.
Yes.
And if you don't, and here's the thing, and I'll say this, babe. If it's not there, or if there are issues that are preventing that from being there,
Address it.
Then address the issues.
Address it. Don't keep going for years and years and years, and there's an issue, and no one wanted to fix that issue.
Right.
Address
it.
And
the thing is, nowadays, like even if it's sexual performance stuff,
right,
those things now are fixable.
Right.
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 Even if you've got issues with performance, fellas, let's keep it real. We do that on Living More with the Morgans. We don't do none of that fake religious stuff.
Right.
If you got issues with performance, there are remedies. There are things that you can do. And then also you want to talk to your wife. You want to talk to her and say, "Hey, babe, this is why. This is what it is.
Yeah.
This is someone
sit down together and talk about
this is someone you're in covenant with. This is your life partner.
Right.
If you can't talk to your life partner, then you ain't got one. Right? If I can't come to you, babe, and say, "Babe, this is why this and this and this is not happening." I even remember, and I'm fairly young. You're fairly young. Our thing was, and you told me, and you were honest. You said, "Babe, I feel like because I'm getting older, because I look in the mirror and I see this and I see time." And I had to tell you, you came to me and you were transparent with me.
Right.
And you said, "Well, babe, I'm feeling like this." And I'm telling you, "Well, babe, it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's me staying up 1 o'clock, 2 a.m, trying to get work in, financial issues, all this stuff was playing its part." And the enemy can come in and use that.
Absolutely.
The enemy will come in and use that and say, "Okay, they ain't getting it in, and they ain't been knocking no boots for a good minute." And he'll use that to get to your mind, to get to my mind.
Right.
And the next thing you know, because we haven't communicated, because we haven't sat down and discussed this, you're thinking one thing, I'm thinking one thing, time goes on.
Right.
And we're sitting here like, okay, well, what's going on with this? Why this ain't popping off like we know it needs to?
Right. Right.
And so just to let couples that are watching, sit down and have those conversations with one another. And then if there's some things that you can fix, go and fix it and go fix it together.
And stop making things so difficult.
Right.
Stop making things so hard. It doesn't have to be hard. And learn to listen to one another. Don't always have, I got my rebuttal ready, but listen to one another. If there's an issue, and ladies, I'll say this, learn how to talk to your partner so that they feel, like this is not an attack on them, but this is an issue that you both have, because it's about both of you. Okay. And come to them with honesty, not brutal, but honesty. I don't like that. I'm about communication, but come to them honest about what's on your heart and what's on your mind. Now, sometimes my husband will play. When I come and tell him things, he'll be like, "Oh, babe, you just, dreaming it up. You ain't nothing wrong with you." And I'm like, "Babe, listen to me." We have to come to a place where we are heard and we're seeing each other.
And I love that. I love you said that. And I can be very honest with our audience. I think because of the age difference and because of some immaturity on my part, I didn't understand that. Right?
I understand, yeah.
And it's not it's not a thing of embarrassment. It's a thing that you don't have an understanding of. And so once you sat down with me and you said, "Babe, this is serious. This is what I'm feeling," that thing went off in me like, "Oh, okay. She means this thing." Right. And so I would really tell the couples that are watching, especially the older couples, that you don't have to have all this pressure on you because now it's time to sit down and communicate.
That's right. take the
pressure off.
Right.
Even if you got to go on a little weekend vacation, get a hotel room, get out of the house.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Get out of familiar setting.
Right. Absolutely.
Go find a nice hotel, go check in for the weekend or whatever, and say, babe, we just gonna talk, we're gonna relax, we're gonna get away from that way. When you're in a different space, if the conversation gets funky, you can't leave.
Right.
You can't just go off into another room. No, we got to sit there and we got to face this.
Yeah.
And then because we came together, and ultimately we're going to leave this place together.
Right.
And so there are ways that you can sit down and do that. And you have to be more intentional about how you're going to connect with one another.
Right.
Because again, it's not just about sex.
No.
But if someone feels the depravity of intimacy, then there's the problem.
That's right. And intimacy is not just sex. For us as women, and I can say this so that the fellas that are watching this, it's not just sex. It's time together. You're sitting on the couch, maybe snuggling, eating popcorn, watching a movie, stroking my hair. You're stroking his hair, or his head, or rubbing on him, or something like that.
I think
it doesn't have to be intercourse all the time.
I think, and you've told me this, honey, and I've learned this from you. You even said that just going, if you want to go shopping, if you want to go to the grocery store, babe, come with me to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, well, babe, I'm sitting there working on this, not knowing that is intimacy for you.
Yes.
And so sometimes I got to get out of my way. I got to get out of my thing, my comfort zone.
Right.
I'm an introvert by nature.
Right.
And so I have to stop and say, okay, now I'm an introvert by nature, but I'm covenant under God. So what's more important now? Right. This will still get done and finished.
Right.
But I have this opportunity that has presented itself to me where my wife is saying, babe, I need you in this capacity.
Right. Absolutely.
You dig what I'm saying?
And it's just like with me, with us, if you guys want to go to the micro center, so we go. It's no big deal because to us, that's time spent together.
Right.
And looking at, the things that you like and the things that interest you.
Right. Right.
So, and that interests me. So when we go, when I want to go shopping and my other girlfriends might be, out with their friends or guy friends or what have you, you're my friend. I want us to go. Yeah, we're husband and wife, but it's role play. You can role play here. Oh, okay, we friends, we homegirl, homeboy, we're going out, to just go shopping, window shopping or what have you. Sometimes we get so stuck in our own selves, in our own ways, that we don't get outside of that to see, wait a minute, I have this person that I asked to be my wife in my life, and I want to know her. I want to be around her. I want us to do things like we said earlier, do things outside of the box. Stop being so stuck. Do things, fun things. Say, hey, babe, we're going to do this. We're going to try this. If it don't work, it don't work.
And everything
you try.
And everything that's fun and out the box doesn't have to be expensive.
No.
But you do have to put
structure.
But you do have to put some thought into it. You have to put some intentionality behind it. Yeah. And I'm learning this. I had to learn this again with my wife being an older woman. I chose an older woman. Now I believe God already had this ordained and already figured out. I had a woman come to me, a prophetess. I didn't know what a prophet was years ago, 20 some odd years ago, come to me and said, God already has your wife already for you. Now, I had been wanting to be married since I was 16 years old. When I was 16, I was already praying and stuff and just, and I didn't even understand prayer back then, but I was already saying, man, I can't wait to be married at 16. I didn't want to be no player. I didn't want to be out and about and hot boxing with these ladies. And I didn't want that. I want at 16, I was like, yo, I want this, and this. I want a wife. I want kids. I want a family, blah, 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 blah. God has given me that. He has blessed me with that. But there were things that I had to learn. And I had to learn about her. I had to learn, especially with an older woman who's been, she's been married before. She's been hurt in those things before. I didn't want to be the second guy coming into her, to come into her life and touch those same wounds.
Right.
And poke at those same vulnerable places that she's been through before. No, I had to learn, hey, bro,
Right.
You be the one who helps heal that.
Right.
You be the one who says, babe, we ain't gonna touch that. You're not gonna have to go through that again. And it's been a journey. It's been hard. But one thing it's been me having to sit down and listen to her and get an understanding, even when I didn't want to, even when, oh, babe, we're gonna be good, we all right, that'll come in time, or we'll pray about it. No, I had to make a concerted effort to say, my wife needs me in this area. She wants me in this area.
Yeah.
And you know what? As the man, I asked her to be in my life. So she deserves that from me, especially if I asked her. I interrupted her life so that she could become a part of mine. I owe her my heart. I owe her my time. I owe her the opportunity to be able to sit down and talk and discuss things without offense, without getting quick to, being slow to anger is what we need to be.
Right.
But also, so we can bring this thing back into being one like we're supposed to. And so, you guys, we got more to talk about on Living More with the Morgans on this topic. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Stay tuned. It doesn't matter what they call you. What matters is what you answer to. Rediscover. All right, you guys, and we're back with Living More with the Morgans. And thank you so much for staying tuned right here on the podcast. And I think we've been having a good one. And if you guys have not been listening, go back and listen to those last couple of segments, because I think we got some real good information for you guys. And again, we're speaking really to couples and people over the age of 40, but this is for everybody. And so if you're young and you're married, you're going to get older, and hopefully, prayerfully, you're going to get older together with who you've entered covenant with. And so what I really want to do in this segment, in this last segment before we head on out, is I really want to bring some history along with some encouragement. And I want to, this is a faith-based podcast. You dig? And so I definitely want to go with scripture, and I want to go with some historical figures that I think will really help some people. And I think for me, babe, I like to kind of give context from scripture in a more modern way, a more contemporary way,
right?
So that people can kind of really understand that if those people were here today, if the Abrahams and the Jacobs and the Davids and all them were here today, how would they say certain things? How would things be mentioned today? How could we really learn from them with today's vernacular in a contemporary society? And so I want to do that because I think sometimes, particularly in the religious world, we kind of, when we read scripture and we read stuff in the Bible, particularly about the older individuals and older married people in the Bible, we kind of think, okay, well, that was for that time, right? So, Sarah was 90 years old and Abraham was 100 and they had Isaac at that age. That was for then. That's not for now, right? Or, so-and-so did this and they did these kind of exploits and they lived this kind of life at this age. That was for then. That doesn't pertain to now. And the reason why I really want to dispel that information and that mindset is because it's in there, and it's in scripture for a reason. And it's in there so that we today would know that God is the same today. What was 10 minutes ago for us was 1,000 years to God.
That's right.
Just 10 minutes ago.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
That's right.
So for him time is not a factor. It is for us. So God is not looking at you being 45, 60, 70, 85 and thinking, oh man, I better hurry up with their life to, in order to accomplish this or to do this or to get more out of them. Mm-hmm. He's not looking at that.
Right.
We are.
That's right.
Right. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. Society it has us looking at ourselves and saying, it's too late. I'm 50. It's too late. I'm 70. It's too late. I'm 85. When God is looking at you and saying, you're right on time, where your latter years will be greater than your former years.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Yes. The latter glory will be more glorious than the former glory. Mm. And so I think because we look at scripture as just a historical book and we look at these characters as historical characters,
right,
we don't put ourselves in their shoes.
And they were real people.
And they were real people like me and you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, of course.
And so if Abraham and Sarah were here today, they would tell you, if they were behind the camera and they were talking to people today, we have them on scrolls. We have their story written on scrolls. We have their story written on papyrus. We have their stories written on tablets. Yes. And now in books. But if they were in our time, they would be behind a camera saying, hey, look what the Lord did for Sarah at 90. Mm-hmm. Now, Sarah has her first child at 90. Mm-hmm. What people need to understand about that is God is intentional about putting the age in there for a reason.
Absolutely right. Come on with it.
You understand what I'm saying? He's intentional about making sure the reader knows that she was way beyond childbearing age. And when God specifically puts something in scripture, when there's detail in scripture, he wants the reader to understand that only I can do this.
Only I.
And he makes it so ridiculous that you can only point to God and say, only God would be able to get this out of him. Now, she has Isaac at her age. Now, let's jump to Abraham. Mm. Abraham had a son before Isaac in his old age. The Bible said his body was as good as dead. Right. Meaning broad man was out of there.
Right.
With no options. There's no Viagra. There's no goat weed or whatever that is, we got today. Them options is out. So God needs to touch Abraham's body. And now think about it. Why would God wait until his old age to bring him children that are going to basically populate the earth? Why God do that at 35?
Right.
Why do we not know Abraham's backstory at 35? Why do we not know the significance of him and Sarah's family and their marriage at 65? Why do you choose this age to introduce them to us by saying they're both out of there when it comes to reproducing children? Now, in his old age, he has Ishmael with a young Egyptian maidservant.
Right.
But can I say it like I want to say it, Ben?
You're going to say it anyway. Go
ahead. If you are old man, see, we don't read the Bible like this. If you are old dude and you go into the bedroom with an Egyptian fine, bad maidservant, what do you think is going to happen? How do you think his body is going to respond? Now, I know he's in covenant with Sarah. Don't get me wrong. But a man is a man.
Yes.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest here.
Yeah.
And he's an old man.
Yeah.
So for him, he's like, yo, I didn't hit the jackpot.
Right.
especially knowing my wife is okay with it.
Right.
Because she's the one that suggested it.
Right.
We're bringing it into now, y'all.
Right.
2026.
Just to interject.
Right.
Sarah was a fool.
Sarah, it was stupid. But she's thinking that's the only way I'm going to be able to get this child, this promised child, out of the loins of Abraham, is that another woman has to do it, right? Okay. So we know that wasn't the plan. That screwed up. He has Ishmael. Thank God for Ishmael. Thank God for Hagar. Blah blah blah. Goes in there, lays pipe with this woman, has Ishmael. God says, no, do it over again. I said for you and Sarah to do this thing. Now he gets the energy to go in there with Sarah. No Viagra, no supplements, no nothing, and ends up bringing about Isaac.
Isaac, right?
Okay, who we know in Scripture is deemed as the promised one, the promised child.
Right.
So he's got 2 kids. He's in his hundreds.
Right.
Sarah passes away.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham is still here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Abraham remarries a couple years after Sarah's passing.
Right.
Brahman has, I believe, 5, 6 more kids after Sarah passes, and they've had Isaac. Now, what hit his body that this man could still be able to produce children, raise children, multiple children, not a child. He had multiple children with his wife Keturah, his second wife Keturah,
right,
who was an Egyptian woman, sister. It wasn't the Arab influence yet in that time of Egypt.
That's right.
So if you was Egyptian then, you was African.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
Can I say?
Yeah. You were African.
The Arabs hadn't invaded North Africa yet.
Right.
So if you was Egyptian, North African then, you was African. Straight up African.
Right.
So Abraham is with this African woman who's his wife and has multiple children. That means her womb was fine. That means she most likely was young enough.
Yes.
Because we don't hear about God necessarily touching the womb of Keturah so she could have multiple children. We don't hear that. So you can assume that she was a woman that was able to produce well.
Yeah.
And was able to give Abraham more children.
Right.
Now, I share that story, you guys, because again, as a faith-based podcast, we look at Scripture as, oh, that was for them, that was for that time. That means that you are saying God's hand is short and he is not capable of doing what he's done before.
Basically, that's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying.
Right.
Is God cannot do what he's done before because he's not doing it. You would be wrong.
Right.
Because there are still women throughout the earth that are still having children well above 50, well into their 60s, if not even older. Everything don't make the news.
Everything doesn't.
Right?
Right.
So you've got women in rural villages in Africa, in India. We know that for sure. In India, that are giving birth to children, to twins,
right,
in their 70s.
Right.
You're in your 70s and you're having children.
Right. And society will try to, oh, that's too old. And by the time she get this age, she going to be out of here and the children are going to be this age and all of that. We're talking about God. Okay. When God wants to introduce or bring anything about in the earth, he is going to do it with whomever or however he wants to do it. If you have people that are willing and want it, that's even the more. God is going to do whatever he wants to do. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
It's not for you, right.
But someone else is still, there's couples that we know, that have been praying for children for 15, 16, 17, 18 plus years or more. And we believe with them.
Absolutely.
It's nothing that God can't do. We're going to have children. Yes, we have a 32-year-old, almost a 32-year-old. So what? This is not, my life is not based upon society and what society says. Our lives is not. This is what we ask of from God. That is why I believe those stories are in the Bible, so that you will know that my hand is not short. Whatever you believe from me, whatever you ask of me and you believe it, this is good as yours.
As good as yours. And that's good, honey. So many people, you guys, God uses later on in life.
Yes.
And so we can look at Joshua and Caleb, who God had promised them at 40. Caleb at 40.
Right.
That you're going to inherit this land. It took him another 45 years. The man was 85 years old.
Right.
When it was time for him to go and inherit his piece of land in Hebron. Now, here's the kicker. Out of Caleb's own mouth, he said, now that I'm taking this land, now that I get this land and I inherit it and it's mine, I feel just as good now at 85 as I did at 40.
Right.
This man is sitting here seeing his kids and grandkids play throughout this whole land. You think God is going to cut his life short and not allow him to see these his kids and his grandkids now in this land that he promised him 45 years ago? No. He's going to sustain him so that he can see his kids and his grandkids grow up in this land. That is the character of God. Society and the media will tell you God no longer does that. And if you believe the okie doke, you'll get the okie doke. So for too long, we've been thinking, oh, well, God don't do that. Why put in scripture Elizabeth, cousin to Mary?
Right.
Everybody's big on, the Virgin Mary, the Virgin Mary. Okay, well, we forget that she had an older cousin.
Right.
That was now bearing a child at the same time Yeshua is coming into the earth. And that was a miracle. And she did it older in her life.
Right.
These are all things that I think we read and we quote and we dance and we shout about because it happened to them. Not necessarily believing that God will do it for us. Babe, I'll share this. We've been fortunate and blessed to travel. And in most of the places where we've been, we've seen a KFC, a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Right.
And something hits me every time I see a Kentucky Fried Chicken because I know that to be an American thing. It's Kentucky, right?
Right.
From the state of Kentucky.
Right.
And Kentucky is not known for a whole lot of things. You may be known for, the Kentucky Derby or whatever. But I know when we travel and we go places and we see that KFC, that Kentucky Fried Chicken, we know that that's American and that comes from Kentucky.
Right.
Okay. But what really truly gets me about when I see that KFC is I see an older man, Colonel Harlan Sanders, who had been through multiple kinds of businesses that failed,
right,
multiple career changes that failed. But he's in his kitchen and he's cooking this chicken with his 11 herbs and spices at an old age, I think well into his 60s. And I look at what is around the world global today. Now, this man didn't live to see KFC in Jamaica.
No, he did not.
Or in Tokyo.
Right.
Or in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
He didn't live long enough to see that. But I think he saw that. I think he was shown that. And he was shown that every time you look at that KFC logo, whose face do you see?
Right.
You see his face.
Yes.
You hear his backstory.
Yes. Yep.
For some
It's
chicken.
good.
So if God can use that man and countless others who started later on in life to do significant impact in the world, what's stopping you?
Right. What's stopping you?
What's stopping you? What's stopping you is you.
That's right.
What's stopping you is thinking, oh, I'm too old,
Right.
or I've missed the mark, or God can't use me, or you're sitting back kind of waiting on the Lord to tell you something, or the Lord to show you something. But I think you need to look at what you have in your hand and what you have in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you also need to look at the fact that you have a responsibility to people who are still here while you're still here. So while you're waiting on to get clarification for purpose, you still have back history, you still have stories, you still have wisdom, you still have knowledge that you can bequeath to others while you're here. And when you find yourself doing that, you'll find that God has you in the kitchen cooking chicken for something that you won't even live long enough to see the fruition of. But you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay that what I start today, what I still have breath to do today and accomplish today and to set out to do today, I may not see the end game of it, but my children will. My grandkids, my great grandchildren will. But if you stay there and don't do anything, or you stay there and you keep waiting on God, then you won't ever get it. And then people will have missed out on what you were brought here to do. And in this second stage of life, in this next stage of life, you're going to miss opportunities to share life experiences,
Yes.
to share things that you've learned.
Yes.
What did you learn in your marriage?
Right.
That marriages that you see are failing could use your wisdom, could use your heart, and use some of the things that you were able to implement in your marriage or in your past relationships. What are some things that you're seeing people drown and you won't throw them the life raft?
Right.
You're seeing people having a hard time, young people starting their businesses or going on with life, and you have answers. You have encouragement. You have solutions that can help people right now at your age. Why? Because you've lived their age.
Right.
So it's not about sitting back and saying, okay, well, God, what can I do now? No, be proactive.
Right. Be proactive.
Be proactive.
Start living.
Start living. Start loving.
That's right.
Get out, and if even if the money is not there, plan a trip.
Right.
And tell God everything. God, I want to go here.
Right.
I want me and my husband or me and my wife, I want us to go here, and start declaring, start speaking that, and then start making the plans.
Right.
Get online and start looking at the online brochures.
Right.
Pick out a destination. Y'all sit down. My wife and I do it all the time.
All the time.
We'll pick out some places, and this is something you can do. We'll pick out some places, cut them up on a piece of paper, put them in a hat. Literally, that's how we choose vacations.
Yeah, it is.
Literally, is we'll put these slips of paper in a hat, and we'll mix them all up and pull out a destination saying, okay, this is where we're going.
Right.
And then we start, what do? We start researching. Do we need a visa? Do we need passport? What do we need to go there?
Hotels, accommodation.
That way, and we start pricing that up.
Yes.
What are the flights going to cost? You can do that now.
Right.
And you can have fun doing it with one another.
Right.
Fellas.
That's it.
Fellas. If she wants to go, that's your covenant partner, fam. You said I do.
Yeah.
You asked. If she wants to go, be the blessing, not the curse. Be the one that she enjoys life and the rest of her life with.
All right.
Not the one that is bringing the pain and the anguish and the struggle. And that's hard to get along with or hard to make move. That's the worst thing. And those are some of the horror stories I used to hear about men when we get older. When we get older, we don't want to do nothing. We don't want to go nowhere. We don't want to travel. We want to stay at home, watch the football game, watch a basketball game, and just be complacent. Why?
Right. And throw some meat on the grill.
Throw some meat on the grill and have a Corona. Why?
Right.
Life is more, and you're wasting time.
Right. Absolutely.
Especially when you have someone that is one with you,
right.
that you asked to be with one with you. So why will it hurt to get up and go to a retreat or get on a cruise with one another? Or to go to church with one another? We know people who don't even go to church together. How can you have a marriage and say that you're in covenant holy matrimony and you won't go to church with one another?
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't sleep in the same bed with one another?
Right.
You hold down this side of the house, she holds down this side of the house. And this is supposed to be covenant, family. These are things that we can break. These are things that we've seen, we've been exposed to.
Right.
And God is saying, break the mold.
That's right.
Break the pattern. It's hard, yeah, but it's even harder staying the same way. Because honestly, babe, how I treat you, what I do and what I don't do will affect me eventually.
Yes, absolutely the truth.
My prayers, the Bible says, my prayers will be hindered. They won't even reach the ceiling.
No.
If I treat you a certain kind of way that is disrespectful and dishonorable to God. You are his daughter. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
So as you being his daughter and I'm his, and it's vice versa.
Right.
But
that's right.
I'm speaking from my side. As you being his daughter, and I asked you for your hand in marriage, in matrimony, I now have a responsibility on how I treat you, on how I cover you, on what I do for you. I'm responsible for that because I asked the Father for her hand in marriage. Not just her earthly father. I did that too. But I went to the heavenly Father and said, she's the one for me. If you've done that, you owe him to treat her right. You owe him to treat her with the best that you can give her. I'm not saying you're going to have everything perfect. I'm not saying you got to be loaded down with money and drive Ferraris. And I'm not saying that. But if you won't take the time to come out of yourself and to say, what is it that she needs from me? Can I sit down and listen to her? Mm-hmm. Can I sit down and really tend to what it is that she needs from me right now? As busy as I am, as much stuff I got to do, as many hours I got to go to work and do this, I asked her to be in my life. And I went to the Father and asked her for her hand. I owe her that. You owe her that. And ladies, you owe him that.
Absolutely.
You owe each other.
That's right.
Better.
That's right.
Are there going to be challenges? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But now is the time where you step up to the challenges. You don't run away from them, you run to them.
That's right.
And you say, we're going to do this together.
Absolutely.
We're going to beat this together.
Absolutely.
We're going to conquer this together.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, now you're building legacy.
So right.
Now you're building legacy. Now you're building something that's going to outlive you. When you get older and you leave this world behind, don't just leave bills. Don't just leave regret. Don't just leave money or properties or all the assets and the things that you accrued over time. That's all well and good. But leave a legacy of what it is that you learned while you were here. What it is that you were exposed to while you were here. What it is that God showed you that will encourage those coming behind you. Keep going just a little bit further. Mm-hmm. I think you have many more miles to go. I think we do too. And fam, I look forward to running them.
Yes.
Full energy, full speed ahead. And I believe for you and for us, our bodies won't deteriorate. Our health won't decline. I think we're going to be like Moses and Caleb and Joshua and them, where we're going to be able to live long and prosper and be in good health as our souls prosper.
Yes.
Is that all right?
That's all right. Yes.
Family, thank you so much. This is Living More with the Morgans. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Link up with us. Let us know in the comments, did this help? Does this help? We want to be transparent and vulnerable so that the people running behind us have a baton to catch.
Yes.
See, we got to be in rhythm with them. When you're running the race, the relay, there's a rhythm you got to have. If I'm standing still, they're going to run by me. But if I'm running my leg of the race in rhythm, when they come up behind me, I know when to pass that baton, and they're going to be there to catch it. Why? Because I ran my leg of the race.
That's right.
So I'm not too old.
No, never.
She's not too old.
Not at all.
And you're not too old. We're just getting started. And like a fine wine, we're getting better. Until next time, you guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in. And have a good one.